Hello, today I'll be taking a look at the Age of the Primes Aerialbot Silverbolt, and here's his box. Product shots at the back. So let's open it up and check him out. Here's some instructions. So I feel like this box looks a little bit untidy, like maybe it was a returned item. Here's the warning paper and the typical instruction sheet. It's black and white with the parts that you're supposed to move highlighted in blue. Yeah, it doesn't look very securely fastened, so I'm wondering if it was a return and they retied it. I mean, as long as there's nothing wrong with it, I guess it's fine. So there's this big chunky piece. I think it's to make up the Superion body. And it might be some additional attachment for his jet mode that I'm not really sure that was ever in the cartoon, but I guess they made use of it. So Silverbolt looks a little bit grayer than I expected. I'm not sure if I'm just not remembering the cartoon correctly. I thought he was a little bit more white. It looks like it doesn't come fully transformed, and you have to open this piece here and then pull out his nose cone. So here's a closer look at this piece that makes up the Superion skeleton. And here's a closer look at the jet out of the box. I believe it's a Concorde. The bottom doesn't look too neat, but that's typical of most Transformers jets. So you actually need to do another thing to complete the transformation. His wings here are not folded out in the box, so you need to fold out the tip of the wings. On my copy, this side of the wingtip doesn't like to stay up, but if you kind of finagle it a little bit, it can get there. But if you just even slightly touch it, it will probably drop down again. And he also has a landing gear on the back of his head here. And you can also flip down his waist pieces here, and they make up the back landing gears. So there he is in his jet mode. Doesn't look too bad in my opinion. And he also comes with this gun here. There's a peg and you can peg it into this port here. And here are some pictures of him in jet mode. He doesn't come with this stand, this is just a stand that I have. And he comes with this big gun that's for Superion. And you also need to transform it to turn him into his bigger jet mode. So you just want to fold this piece down. And then you want to turn it over and flip this piece up diagonally. And there's a port here. And you just want to place that port into... There'll be a peg here, right there. You just want to push that port into the peg. And now you want to flip out these red pieces here. Now you want to take the jet here, flip down his landing gears, and then you want to separate this piece here. So what you want to do is you want to push these orange pieces here into these red pieces here and clip them together. It's a little bit difficult. So when you hear that snap, it's good. And now there are tabs on the wings here that you want to tab into these indentations here. You want to line up these pieces here. So there you have him in his bigger jet mode. And here's a closer look at the bigger jet mode. I don't think it looks that great, but I guess it's nice that they did something with that Superion skeleton. And here he is compared to the other currently released Aerialbots, Air Raid and Slingshot. So let's transform him into robot mode. First remove his weapon, fold down the landing gears, flip in the wingtips, open this piece up, fold in the nose cone. You want to untab the wings here. That will allow you to pull out these side pieces, which will become his legs. And then straighten out the legs and rotate them. Then flip down his feet. There's an indentation here that you can use to flip out his heel spur. Same on the other side. There are two tabs here that you want to untab and flip down this whole front part of the jet. Now you can fold out his chest and then flip up his head. And then you can rotate out his arms here. Like so. Then straighten out his arms. And then you can flip out his fist. Same on the other side. So now you want to flip out his Superion head, and then you want to rotate it around, and then fold it down. It'll snap in here. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that his horns will fit inside a couple of holes in his chest. And then fold his chest in. And there are also tabs here that you want to tab into place. Now you want to wiggle free this piece here. It's on a double hinge. So what you want to do is you want to flip up the one hinge on the front and then fold up the back hinge. It's a little bit tough. There you go, there was a click. So now there's this armature here. What you want to do is you want to detach the front of the jet from it and fold it down. And then snap it in there. And there's a slot here and a tab. Just want to push it down and tab it into place. And I think that should be it. So there you have it, Silverbolt in his robot mode. And of course you can take his gun and peg it into his fist. And here's the 360 view of him in robot mode. A pretty nice looking Silverbolt in my opinion. There's a bit of a backpack, but I don't think that can be helped. So let's check out his articulation. His head looks like it's on a ball joint. His head can wiggle a lot. It can rotate 360. It can look up a little bit, down a little bit. His arms can go out to the side 90 degrees. It can rotate up to this far, but then it gets blocked. But then if you fold out the wings, you can rotate it all the way around. He has a little bit more than 90 degree elbow bend. Has a bicep swivel. Snow butterfly. Nothing at the wrist, except for bending downwards, which is part of his transformation. He has a waist rotation, but it's hindered by all this stuff in the back. And his legs can kick up this far and back this far, is hindered by the wings. If you want to unclip all this stuff, you can bend it back more, but now it looks weird. And it can go out to the side pretty far. There's the thigh swivel, 90 degree knee bend. Actually more than 90 degrees. A very good knee bend. Has an ankle tilt. Nothing down, but you can bend it up for the transformation. And you can bend his heel spur for some support in some poses. And that's about it for his articulation. So let's check out what poses he can do. He can do a standard action pose. He can do a walking pose. He can kind of do a running pose, but it looks a little bit weird. He can't really do a kneeling pose because either his thighs are too short or his lower legs are too long. But you can kind of get him into a superhero landing pose. It doesn't look great, but it's possible. For some comparisons, here he is compared to the other Aerialbots I have so far. Here he is compared to some Carbots. Compared to Hoist. Compared to Grapple. Compared to Studio Series 86 Bumblebee. Compared to Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. And here's Optimus Prime giving him a pep talk, making him the leader of the Aerialbots because he's afraid of heights. I'm also really afraid of heights, so I guess I would make a really good leader too. I think that's pretty much it for Silverbolt, but here's a sneak peek of Superion, and thanks for watching.